What do a 104-year-old farmer in Sardinia, a 101-year-old fisherman in Okinawa, and a 103-year-old woman in Loma Linda, California, all have in common? They never stepped foot in a gym. They never followed a trendy diet, and most of them have never taken a handful of supplements, yet they outlived nearly everyone around them. Today we're breaking down the 7 daily habits that science has consistently found in people who live past 100, and most of them cost absolutely nothing. Researcher Dan Buettner spent over 15 years studying 5 regions of the world where people routinely live past 100, places he called blue zones. What he found wasn't magic, it wasn't expensive, it was habit. Here are the 7 that show up everywhere. Habit number 7, and arguably the most overlooked. They have a daily ritual to shed stress. Chronic stress triggers inflammation. Inflammation accelerates virtually every age-related disease: heart disease, cancer, dementia, diabetes. The centenarians of the blue zones don't eliminate stress. No one does. But they all have a daily, built-in ritual that downshifts their nervous system. Sardinians have a daily happy hour, a small glass of wine with friends at the end of the day, without exception. Okinawans take a few minutes each day to remember their ancestors. Seventh-day Adventists in Loma Linda observe the Sabbath, a full 24-hour period of rest, community, and disconnection from work every week. A study from Yale found that even brief daily stress reduction rituals measurably lowered cortisol levels and improved immune markers over time. The ritual itself matters less than the consistency. Pick one, do it daily, protect it. Habit number 6. They curate their social circle intentionally. In Okinawa, there's a social structure called a Moai, a group of 5 friends committed to each other for life. These groups form in childhood and stay together for decades, providing financial support, emotional support, and companionship well into old age. This isn't just cultural warmth, it has a direct biological impact. Research shows that the behaviors of the people around you are contagious. If your closest friends eat well, exercise, and have a positive outlook, you're more likely to do the same. The inverse is also true. A famous study from the Framingham heart study showed that obesity, smoking, and even happiness spread through social networks like viruses. Centenarians don't just happen to have healthy habits, they're surrounded by people who reinforce those habits every day. Habit number 5. They belong to a faith-based community. This one surprises a lot of people. Of the 263 centenarians Dan Buettner's team interviewed across all blue zones, all but 5 belonged to some kind of faith-based community. Denomination didn't matter. What mattered was the community, the ritual, and the stress reduction that comes with it. Research from Harvard's T.H. Chan School of Public Health found that people who attended religious services more than once a week had a 33% lower risk of dying during the study period compared to those who never attended. The mechanism isn't mysterious. Regular community participation reduces loneliness, provides support systems, and gives people a structured sense of meaning. And you don't have to be religious to replicate this. A tight-knit community of any kind, a club, a regular volunteer group, produces similar benefits. Habit number 4. They make family the center of their lives. In every blue zone, family is not just important. It is the organizing structure of daily life. Centenarians in Sardinia and Icaria live with or near their children and grandchildren. Grandparents are not placed in nursing homes, they're placed at the head of the table. This matters more than most people realize. A meta-analysis of 148 studies involving over 300,000 people found that strong social relationships increase the likelihood of survival by 50%. That's comparable to quitting smoking. Loneliness, on the other hand, has been shown to increase cortisol levels, suppress immune function, and accelerate cognitive decline. The people who live to 100 are almost never isolated. They are surrounded by family, by neighbors, by community every single day. Habit number 3. They stop eating before they're full. Okinawans practice a principle called Hara, Hachi, a Confucian teaching that instructs people to eat until they are 80% full, then stop. This isn't a diet. It's a deeply ingrained cultural habit practiced at every meal. The science behind it is straightforward. It takes roughly 20 minutes for your stomach to signal your brain that it's full. If you eat until you feel full, you've already overeaten. Caloric restriction, even mild, consistent caloric restriction, has been shown in dozens of studies to reduce inflammation, lower insulin levels, and slow cellular aging. The average Okinawan consumes about 1,900 calories per day, roughly 300 fewer than the average American. Over decades, that difference is enormous. Habit number 2. They have a reason to wake up every morning. In Okinawa, they call it Ikigai, roughly translated as the reason I get up in the morning. It's not a career goal or a financial target. It's a deep sense of purpose that gives daily life meaning. In Nicoya, Costa Rica, centenarians call it Plan de Vida, life plan. Research from Rush University Medical Center followed nearly 1,000 older adults and found that those with a strong sense of purpose were 2.4 times less likely to develop Alzheimer's disease. A separate study in psychological science found that people with higher purpose had a 15% lower risk of death from all causes. Purpose isn't a luxury, it's a biological necessity. For some, it's family. For others, it's a craft, a garden, a community role. The form doesn't matter, the feeling does. Habit number 1. They move naturally, all day long. Here's what's fascinating. Not a single blue zone population has a gym culture, no CrossFit, no marathon training. What they do have is a physical environment that forces gentle, consistent movement. Sardinian shepherds walk 5 miles of hilly terrain daily, just doing their job. Okinawan women spend hours gardening, squatting, bending, standing, without thinking of it as exercise. A study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that light physical activity spread throughout the day was more strongly linked to longevity than intense, short workout sessions. The lesson isn't to skip the gym. It's to stop treating movement as something you schedule once a day and forget. Take the stairs, walk to the store, garden, pace while you're on the phone. Every step compounds. 7 habits. No gym membership required, no expensive supplements, no complicated diet plan, just movement, purpose, community, and intention. Practice daily for a lifetime. Here's your challenge this week. Pick just one of these habits and add it to your daily routine for the next 7 days. That's it. Start there. If this video gave you something valuable, subscribe, because next week we're uncovering the top 5 supplements that longevity researchers actually take themselves. And drop a comment. Which of these 7 habits do you already practice? I'll see you in the next one.